Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Leanne here. Today we're going to be doing some foam rolling for the legs. So this is going to be particularly good for those of you that are possibly runners. Maybe you do heavy leg workouts in the gym or any kind of lower body workouts in particular. Now, maybe some of you have done foam rolling before, and if you haven't, basically foam rolling is a very good way of improving flexibility. You can use it to help get rid of any kind of muscular knots or tightness that you have in your muscles. So in other words, it's a little bit like having your own massage, all right? Now, this is my foam roller. They come in many different shapes and sizes. This one has little notches on that you can see, so it's a little bit harsher on the muscles, or really it gets in a little bit deeper, but for me, this really works well. You can buy ones that are smoother as well, and of course you can buy longer ones or just a shorter one like this. They're also really lightweight, they're very reasonably priced. You can pick them up from most sports stores or even from somewhere like Amazon. All right, so let's get going. So I'm going to start with my calf muscle. It doesn't matter which leg you start with. Now the key for foam rolling is go slowly and carefully. Now foam rolling should never be painful, but it may be uncomfortable. So what I'm going to do, I'm using my other foot on the floor and my hands on the floor to basically determine how much body weight and how much pressure I want to put on my calf muscle. Never go over any bones, obviously. Be careful of your tendons, ligaments by the joint. So really you're looking at getting through the belly of the muscle. So I'm just going to start above my ankle. I'm now going to use my two hands and right leg to lift my body up off the floor, and I'm basically going to roll myself up and down of the belly of the calf muscle. All right, now if you're new to foam rolling, you might want to just implement this once or twice a week to start with, and then increase that to however many times you feel is necessary. You might start off with just a few minutes. You could literally go for a 20-minute foam rolling, let's say, recovery workout. It's entirely up to you. So as you can see, I'm going up and down the belly of the calf muscle just a couple of times. And again, the key is slow. So if you feel that this is too much pressure, you obviously need to take more of your body weight up off the floor using your other hands. If you need more pressure, all you need to do is put the other leg across, all right, or just cross over the legs, and you can roll up and down. Now my calf muscles are quite tight from running at the moment, so for me, one leg on the floor is enough. So once you've gone up and down a couple of times through the center of that muscle, okay, so the calf muscle's quite wide. Really what we want to do is get the outer side as well. So from here, I'm simply going to rotate my leg inwards or outwards, either way, and then that way, you can really get the outer and inner part of that calf muscle as well. So nice and steady. If you come across a really tight area, and you'll know what I mean when you find this kind of tight spot that I'm talking about. So if it is a little bit uncomfortable, you might want to just stop on that spot, just put a bit of pressure on for about 10 seconds. So just hold that spot and then gently move off of it afterwards, okay? So once you've done the outer part of the calf muscle, you can then rotate your foot inwards and do the other side. Okay, so nice and easy. And again, it may well be uncomfortable, but you should not really be feeling excruciating pain. Once you've done your left side, obviously move to the right side. So switch legs, and again, I'm just resting the foam roller above my ankle. I've lifted my bottom of the floor using my left leg and my hands, and again, slowly, I'm going to start rolling. So basically, foam rolling you can use before you start a workout, all right? So it can be used to increase flexibility a little bit and warm the muscles up. You may even want to do, a bit of stretching before you get on the foam roller so that your muscles are not, basically you do not want to foam roll if your muscles are really cold, okay? But as I said, you can use it as part of your warm-up if you need to. I personally like to use it after my workouts. So, yeah, at the moment I can really feel my calf muscles are quite tight. So this is good timing. And then also, so at the moment for me, I've got a really tight spot in the centre of my calf, but what I'm going to do now is rotate my leg inwards and outwards, nice and steady, so I'm crisscrossing over that muscle fibre. So you might want to stay on one little spot for a little while and then carry on. Ooh, yep, we can feel that. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So again, depending how much you have foam rolled before, it might depend on how much time you spend on each muscle group. I would say to start with just a couple of minutes on each muscle group would be absolutely fine. And then obviously, you know, everyone's different, so then just change that according to your needs. Next, we're going to do our hamstrings. So again, I want to come just above the knee. All right, I'm using my other leg and my hands to lift my body weight off the floor. And I'm going to simply foam roll the length of that muscle right up towards just below the glutes. You'll be able to feel where to stop, so again, you don't want to go over any bone. Nice and slowly, squeaky floor, and then back. So what you want to do is the same thing as the calf muscle. You go up and down the centre of that muscle a few times, and then when you're ready, you could rotate your leg outwards. So you're slightly moving on another section now. Good. So now we're going to rotate inwards, or the opposite to whatever you've just done. And again, if this is not enough pressure, all you simply need to do is pop your other leg over the top and roll that way. So this for me is probably a little bit too much pressure, so I'm going to take my leg off, but you may well need, if your legs aren't overly tight, you might feel that 2 legs is a better amount of pressure for you. Okay, so again, we would swap sides, always make sure you do the other side as well. Lift yourself up, here we go. Now, just as a suggestion, because it can be not time consuming, but you know, I think some people put off stretching or foam rolling after exercise or before exercise because they see it's time consuming. But what you could do is multitask. So for example, quite often if I feel tight and I haven't seen my partner all day though, let's imagine he's just got back from work, we might have an hour together before we need to do something else. And I might foam roll, you know, whilst he's having a coffee and we'll have a chat about our day, for example. You can have a catch up. You might want to listen to a podcast whilst you're foam rolling, or some music, something educational. So you basically get to do 2 things at once. But I promise you, if you implement this into your workouts, you'll start to notice a difference, hopefully within a couple of weeks or so. I certainly do feel a lot better since I've been foam rolling. Although some weeks I don't do it as often as what I should, but it does make a huge difference. And again, I'm rotating my leg inwards and outwards, both sides. All right, and we're going to stop there. So the next side we're going to do is down the side of the leg. Now this position is a little bit more tricky, but if you can get into it, it's definitely worth doing. So we are going to basically foam roll down our iliotibial band, is what it's called, ITB. And this it has less blood supply, so it can be harder to stretch out. However, I personally do enjoy stretching, or let's say foam rolling this one, because mine do get quite tight, particularly from running. And if you're sat down at a desk, for example, if you have a desk job, that can also be another contributor to having tighter muscles in your legs. So I'm going to foam roll my left side. So what I want to do is I'm going to go on my side, almost as if you're going to go into a side plank. So I'm resting my elbow on the floor. I'm going to go above the knee. All right. Do make sure that that leg is on the side. If you rotate upwards, obviously you're going to do the hamstring again. So make sure you're on the side. Now the key to this one, control the amount of weight that you are putting pressure on, because probably this one might be a little bit tender for you, all right? Now, here's the tricky part. It's a bit like doing yoga now. Put your right leg, or the other leg, needs to come in front. You can actually put it behind you, okay? It just means that your pelvis might tilt upwards. I find it better to put it in front, although it is a little bit more challenging, but see what you prefer. Now I'm going to use this leg, this arm, and this hand if you need to get my body weight up off the floor. So as you can see, it's almost a bit like a workout here, but it is worth doing. So from here, I'm simply, carefully, so you definitely need to control how much body weight you are putting on this muscle group now, okay? So just need to focus a little bit, nice and slowly again. So this one may well feel uncomfortable. Take your time, go steady. And again, if you can't quite make this position, it is okay to come, put your leg behind and come into this position here, all right? Just make sure that leg underneath is not rotating outwards. I'm gonna come back over. So you might want to foam roll, for example, the lower half first, and then after do the upper half, okay? Oh yeah, mine are definitely tight. Woohoo. But I promise you, you are gonna thank yourself for doing this long term. Good, now once you have done this side, of course, you would carefully swing around and do the other side on my squeaky floor. So, other side's over, leg comes across, side plank position, off we go. And again, if you find a really tight area, in particular somewhere, just sit on that area. I can feel mine right now. So just hold that for 10 seconds. And obviously, you know, when you're exercising, always make sure that you are doing a really good cardiovascular warm-up, so you get the heart and lungs pumping, you get the blood going to the working muscles, the oxygen's going there, all the nutrients that it needs to be able to work. Make sure you're doing a really good cool down as well, so a cardio cool down as well as static stretches. And then of course, adding the foam rolling is great if you get a chance. Okay, so from here, so you might want to spend a little bit longer on each muscle group, but for time purposes right now, I'm going to move on to the glutes. All right, so now, quite simply, we are going to, I'm going to go on my right side first. Now, obviously, there's no point sitting up like this. We want to get in the center of those glute muscles. All right, so I'm slightly to one side, and again, you can use your two legs and an arm to control how much body weight you go over the glutes. So you'll be able to feel, usually in the center area, you'll start to feel quite typically a tight area, okay? But just have a play around, you can't really go wrong here. Just again, nice and slowly. If you need to put more pressure, you can always cross that leg over. So my glutes are, again, because the running, I can tell, are pretty tight at the moment. And of course, you know, when you have tightness in certain muscle areas, that can end up pulling on the joints, you know, and just misaligning, and it can, you know, it can really cause havoc. So make sure that, again, you're always stretching, foam rolling, because it can affect other areas. All right, so once you've had a go on that side, again, swap sides, all right. So you are slightly tilting to one side, and again, foam rolling up and down. You can also buy, don't have it here right now, but you can buy little smaller massage balls. I find them really good to get in between your shoulder blades, for example, on the rhomboids, or the trapezius, which is the T-shaped muscle, basically top of your neck that comes down like this on your back. So I find that quite good. You basically stand up against the wall, rub it up and down on the back. That's really good. Never foam roll over your spine, obviously. So yeah, never go over the bones. Yeah, I'm feeling this side, I don't know about you. It's good though, it means it's working. Okay, excellent. Right, last muscle group we're going to do is the quads. So if you're a runner or if you love doing squats and lunges, I'm pretty sure you're going to like this one. And again, go steady to start with. Okay, now mine are quite sensitive at the moment. So I know for me I need to be real careful. So I will do this side. So I'm going to foam roll my left leg, okay? But I'm going to go this side so you can see what I'm doing with my other leg. So my right leg is taking the pressure off, okay? But I'm actually foam rolling and I have my arms in a plank position on the floor here. So I'm foam rolling my left side now. And again, you're just going up as far as you can without hitting any of the bone areas, and carefully use this knee and your elbows or your hands to take the pressure off, or to have as much pressure as you need, and just nice and carefully over the quads. Again, quads are obviously a really big muscle group, so I would go over the center and then slightly tilt left and right. I'm actually now going to turn sides so you can see the foam rolling from this side, okay? Again, go above the knee, so do not roll over the knee. Nice and carefully. So I'm now slightly tilting my leg outwards. And then of course you can tilt the other side as well. So this is the thing, it's not overly relaxing, but it is so good to do, and you will definitely feel a lot looser after. But it's got to be regular, you know, not just one off. So if you can't get to your sports massage therapist, this is the thing to do. So we have done calf muscles, we have done hamstrings, iliotibial band down the side, quads and glutes. So hopefully, there we go. I'm going to finish there for today, but hopefully that's given you some ideas and a bit of an introduction to foam rolling. Again, just start off twice a week, you know, up to as many times as you feel necessary. Steady is the key, and keep an eye on the pressure. So question for the week for you is, let me know in the comments below, how have you found foam rolling? So now that you know how to do it properly, how have you found it? What kind of muscle groups are you finding really tight at the moment? For more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notifications tab so that you know each time we have a new video out. Until then, enjoy the foam rolling.